Hey everybody, thanks so much for your purchase of the Goog piece of art. Now I realize a lot of you have gotten this piece and hanging it up feels intimidating. This is the purpose of this video. We're going to walk through in a couple easy steps how to best hang your art. Now this video right here is specifically designed for people who have their art with wires across the back. If you got one of our aluminum pieces, you'll want to watch the other video, so you can stop here. Click over that spot. All right, so wire across the back. First thing you'll find is most pieces of art that get shipped to you or you've taken from the gallery have a protective plastic coating over it. I would recommend leaving that in place until the very last step. Second thing is usually the way we do it is your little bag full of hanging hardware is attached somewhere to the back to one of the frames. Go ahead and tear that off now. In the case of a canvas, you should be looking at two little Framers J-hooks and two nails. By Framers J-hooks, I just mean one of these little things. Now, this is under the premise that your wall is made of sheetrock or drywall or typical material. And if you guys have a concrete or a brick wall, give us a call. We'll help you sort it out that way. All right, first thing we want to do, determining the height of the art. Now look, most important thing here, this is an opinion. There are no rules about this. So, best way to do it is a two-person job. One person holds the art in place, the other person walks around the room, go into the kitchen, go into the living room, wherever you're going to be viewing the art from. Have the other person help you decide the correct height. Now, there are old things that say the focal point should go with the eye height of a 6-foot person, but that stuff's hogwash. Put it where it looks good to you. So, since canvases are nice and light, I'm going to put this one, and I can hold this with just one hand. This is from our Piers collection, Deerfield Pier. And I'm going to have the other person walking around the room, and they're telling me higher, lower, lower, higher, whatever. And you get a measurement from the middle of the art. Don't take a measurement from the left or the right because you might be holding it a little screwy like that. So go from the middle of the art to something that's on the ceiling. Hopefully the ceiling's not 30 feet up. If otherwise, you have to reverse all your measurements and go to the floor instead. So measure up, and right there, I've measured what I think is a good height. I might go down a little bit more. And let's call it 33 inches from the ceiling, okay? So, memorize the number 33, or even better, have yourself handy a pad. 33 down is what I want the top of my artwork to be. All right, your left and your right. Do you want it centered on the wall? Should it be centered over the furniture? Again, there's no correct answers, and everyone's rooms are different, so I can't tell you exactly what to do here, but what I'm gonna do is this piece of art is going centered above these two chairs. And again, we're just sitting here in my warehouse. This is the welcome area to our warehouse or your production. So I'm gonna take an estimated center line right here and measure up on the wall right here, and I'm going to use this tape measure as a pendulum. And I'm just going to make a pencil mark. By the way, pencils, easier than pens. Why? Because it comes off. So I'm going to make a pencil mark. There's my 33. I'm going to go a few inches down so it's covered by the wall. And I'm going to make a nice little mark. That's my left and right center. Now, how high to put these two Framers J-hooks. By the way, you know the art is light enough to be held with one hook. We always supply two hooks. Why? Put up one hook, the art is always going to wobble left and right every time you breathe near it. So use two, it stabilizes it because we always use rubberized wire on it, and that way with two it won't be wiggling all the time. All right, how to determine how far to spread your hooks. Two hooks. There is no perfect answer to this. I'm going to use an arbitrary number of two hooks spread by 30 inches. Why? It's a 75-inch piece of art. 30 seems about a right number. So watch what I'm going to do here. The weight of the art is supported on these two chairs right now. I'm going to measure out 30 inches, and I'm going to put my two fingers simulating where the two hooks are going to go. And I'm going to take all the weight of the art on my two fingers, simulating it being hung by two hooks. Now, I look down at that center cross brace, and I visually memorize a spot. I need to get a height measurement. Check this out. So the wire's tensioned, all the weight's on the wire. I'm memorizing a spot, and I see that spot. I'm still going to measure, okay, look at that, 3 inches. Now yours might differ, okay? So we measured 33 inches down. I measured 3 inches where the wire's tension, 33 plus 3, 36 down. Easy? Yes, it is. All right, check this out. I made a mark on the wall. There's my mark. And I said I was going to go 36 down because that's 33 plus 3. I am going to change my little dot into an X. To me, X's mark the spot. Dots are approximate. X is the precision mark. 36 down. Now, I said my two hooks are going to go 30 inches apart. So, 30 divided by 2 is 15. I put 15 right there, and I make a dot at 30, and I make a dot at 0. Now, are those at 36 inches down? No, obviously not. So, I now measure 36 inches down, and I turn my dot into an X at 36 inches. 36 inches and 36 inches. Done and done. 2 X's spread by 30 inches, 36 inches down each. Next step. The nail and the framer's J-hook that's provided in the package. Look real close there. You see that? Goes through the hole, down at that. It's going to go into the sheetrock and use leverage so it's going to hold tension on the sheetrock. These things are strong. I'm not saying the exact one you got in your kit's this size, because this is a video for everybody, but these are 50-pound hooks. 2 hooks, math says that means it holds a 100-pound piece. Technically not. The world of framing works like this. Multiplied by 1.5 the amount of weight. So 2 of these 50-pound hooks hold 75 pounds of weight. This 75-inch piece of art is probably about 4 pounds. I like overkill. Very easy. Now, when I'm putting the X, it's not where I'm putting the nail, it's in the J of the hook, where the wire is going to be tensioned to. You don't want studs. You don't have to look for studs. You're just looking for regular flat sheetrock. Where's my spot? There it is. Done. That is it. Now, you notice I said earlier, keep the plastic wrap on until the very end. When you're doing all these things with a canvas, one thing I want you to avoid, people tend to grab these big pieces of art from me, and the first thing they do is grab it like this, and they jam their thumbs into it so hard. Just grab by the frame, guys. Don't put a dent in your canvas before you ever get put up. Now, again, every situation is different, but this one, I think it's going to be easiest if I literally go behind the piece of art, stand in there, let the center brace rest on my head, put it on the 2 hooks, drop it in place. Now, I'm just going to get it eyeball straight first. Don't worry about it getting level yet. And I'm just going to make sure that my 33 inches is about right. Yep. Perfect. Got it. Now, if it's a little off, you just make adjustments to 1 or 2 of those little framers J-hooks. Easy peasy. All right, that's why I left the plastic wrap on, because if I have to take it down again to make another adjustment, I can still feel comfortable setting it on the floor without scuffing the artwork. All right, now, the left and the right part. Remember I said earlier that I use rubberized wire across the back of all of our pieces? Regular uncoated stainless steel wire slides all over the place. Rubberized wire grips on those 2 hooks. Now, if I need to do this a little bit, it holds. If I need to do this a little bit, it holds. Now, you notice when I'm moving, I'm actually lifting the artwork up just a little bit to take the tension off the wire. Now, every time I get over to a client's home, the first thing the homeowner wants to do is whip out their meter-long level. I don't use levels. Here's why. What do you think the odds are of that ceiling being perfectly straight and that floor being perfectly straight? Guys, I love going into your homes. $10 million penthouse condo, $20 million home on the water. The walls are not perfect 90 degrees. And the closer your artwork is to the ceiling or some kind of limiting factor like a wall, the more precise you have to be. So eyeballs rule. Care less about your level, because that's level to earth. Care more about how the eyeball feels. But the way I usually do it is instead of checking with a level, and we can use a level, I've got a little level in my installation kit. There's nothing wrong with using it, but don't let it be the deciding factor. I like to go up here. And there we are, 32.5 and 33. So what does that mean? I need to go clockwise by just a hair. Rubberized wire really helps. All right, so the level says we're spot on, but again, I don't trust that. And now we are here at 32 3/4 and 32 7/8. You know what? The tape measure says that's an 1/8 of an inch difference, but who says this drop ceiling is actually going to be level? I'm going to call it good enough so long as the eyeball says it's good enough. Typically, there's little rubber baby buggy bumpers right at the very bottom right and left corners, and that again helps grip the wall just a little bit. Final tip that I'm going to give you before we finish this is there's a tool that I like, and it's called 3M Dual Lock. Okay? This usually won't be an issue, but let's say your wall isn't exactly flat. This is an industrial Velcro that'll help hold the bottom of the artwork onto the actual wall itself. You stick one side onto the art, the other side on the other onto the wall, and you can get this stuff off Amazon pretty easy. Good stuff. And the very last thing, care and feeding of your canvas art. One of the beauties of canvas, where's my little microfiber? Ah! It's quite humidity resistant and water resistant. You shouldn't need to water it down, but you can always use a slightly damp cloth. I still just recommend to everybody, treat just like you would a good pair of sunglasses. Dry microfiber cloth will get dust off the top, and we're talking 6 months later here. You won't need to do this with canvas. It's real fingerprint resistant to begin with, but you can wipe them off and clean it like that. Now for the very last part, removing the plastic wrap. Usually the best way to do this is just a snip here, a snip there, and then peel it off the sides. Then you might just have to make another measurement because you might have tweaked it a little bit. Guys, once again, thank you so much for your purchase. Any questions, you either give us an email at design@googunderwater.com or give us a phone call at 954-579-8096. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Cheers.